Number 10.
For my number 10 pick, I'm choosing kind of an obscure character. It's Abraham Lincoln from Codename Steam. We see how badass Abe looks in Codename Steam with his giant mech suit and his ability to lead a team against aliens. I feel like his moveset would be pretty easy to do. Just like how Little Mac has his meter on the bottom for when he gets KO punch, Abe could have a steam meter that grows with each hit and causes his specials to hit harder depending on how much steam is accumulated. His final smash could even consist of him summoning his mech. Vote Abe for your next Smash character.
And I'm Steve.
Number 9.
For my number 9 pick, I'm choosing Shantae from the Shantae series. I never really knew who Shantae was until I played Shantae in the Pirate's Curse earlier this year. I thought it would be a fun little platformer, and it was, and more. From all of her special items she can get in that one game alone, could create all of her specials. Her up special could be her shooting her cannon downwards, then floating with her hat. She would be a very unique character as well, because she fights mainly by whipping her hair at enemies. I don't know what her final smash could be, but whatever Nintendo can come up with would be awesome.
Number 8.
For my number 8 pick, I'm choosing Klonoa from the Klonoa series. Klonoa is a very different character and would have another unique fighting style. Throughout his games, he gets an array of weapons from swords to hammers to even arm cannons that he could use for his special attacks. His primary form of attack would be using his wind abilities. And I feel like his final smash could be summoning a giant tornado that goes across the screen and throwing the enemies all around.
Number 7.
For my number 7 pick, I am choosing Gino from Super Mario RPG. Gino is a character that has been in one game. That is such a disservice to such an amazing character. I feel like if Gino was in Smash, it might cause Nintendo to create a sequel or even a remake of Super Mario RPG with Gino in it. Some of his specials could be his Gino Beam, Gino Whirl, and Gino Blast, as well as anything else Nintendo wanted to add to him. And his final smash I feel like would be Gino Flash, where he shoots a giant cannonball across the screen, hitting any enemy that in its wake.
Number 6.
For my number 6 pick, I am choosing Gengar from the Pokemon series. I know there are already a lot of Pokemon in Smash, but I feel like Gengar would be a great addition. With the announcement of Gengar in Pokken Tournament, it has shown me how much of a badass fighter Gengar really is. He could throw Shadow Balls, send out a Dark Pulse, and even lick the competition. He would also be a great new heavyweight character in Smash, which is much needed. I feel like his final smash could either be he sucks in his enemies and eats their dreams, or he puts them to sleep on the field and eats each one's dreams individually. But what I feel like they're already going to do, if they do add Gengar, is just use his Mega Evolution. But you know, Nintendo, maybe we can have one of those other ones.
Number 5.
For my number 5 pick, I am choosing Zero from the Mega Man Zero series. With only one representative from the Mega Man franchise, there needs to be another that has some new abilities. Zero would be a new sword-wielding character, which I feel would be a great addition, especially since he does still use a blaster cannon. One thing I would love to see happen if Zero did get in, is if he had an ability, like Shulk, to change his sword's ability. In the game, Zero gets different swords that give him different abilities and attributes. For example, his Z Ichimonji is weaker, but with a certain attack, can break an enemy's armor. His final slash would be his Bone Slicer attack that sends out 3 fire sword slashes, but the downside is, his defenses are lowered after the attack.
Number 4.
For my number 4 pick, I am choosing King Hippo from the Punch-Out series. I have watched a few of these top 10 Smash Bros. DLC character wish lists, and one thing I find in common is they all want a heavyweight villain. The only problem is, I've only heard really 2 names when that is said, Ridley and King K. Rool. I feel like King K. Rool is too similar to some of the characters that are already a part of Smash, and Ridley just feels like he would be too complicated. I chose a character that is a heavyweight villain and would be unique. King Hippo is one of the most memorable characters you fight in Punch-Out, and he would be a great villain to Little Mac. How awesome would it be to see Little Mac and King Hippo fighting in Smash on Boxing Ring? I know I'd love that. Hippo's attacks would be some of his attacks from the Punch-Out games. His final smash would be the Hippo Hug, but would only work on one character, although the character would be thrown after and hit other characters.
Number 3.
For my number 3 pick, I am choosing the Inklings from Splatoon. I know Splatoon has not even been released yet, but this is one of my most anticipated games of this year. The Inklings have so much variety in their looks as well as their weapons that I feel like they would be a perfect choice for Smash. The Inklings' main special would be spraying in front of them with ink, and maybe their forward smash attack could be using the paintbrush or the paint roller. The final smash could be using the paint tornado that goes across the screen. I feel like the Inklings would be a great addition to hype up Splatoon coming out.
Number 2.
For my number 2 pick, I am choosing Vent from Mega Man ZX. This is another obscure character that not many people know of. He's a Mega Man character that has some pretty amazing abilities. He is able to combine his Biometal ability with others to give him different abilities. For example, when he uses just the X Biometal, he gains a Buster that shoots Energy Blasts. I feel like they could do a lot with Vent in terms of movesets, with all the different abilities he gains throughout his 2 games. For his final smash, he would gain the ZX model for a set amount of time, which gives him an enhanced blaster and saber, and gives him the signature moves from both the Z and X Biometal models.
Honorable mentions.
Now for the honorable mentions. So, not all my characters that I really want to got onto this top 10, but I put on the ones that I really believed in, that I would love to see in Smash more than some of these ones that I will be saying. But here's my honorable mentions. So first is Wonder Red, or the Wonderful 101 characters in general. I feel like they'd be an awesome addition with the different fist, sword, gun, all that kind of stuff, and the different costumes can be the different wonders, and I think that would be really cool. Another honorable mention was Bomberman. I feel like he'd be a really fun character to play as, but I just feel like there's not much to him, at least as I've seen. Maybe you guys see something different, but that's what I see. Another honorable mention is Sceptile. I've heard of this a lot too, and I do agree, since we do already have a Fire Starter 3rd evolution and a Water Starter 3rd evolution, there does need to be a Grass Starter 3rd evolution, and I feel like Sceptile would be the best for that option, because I don't know any other starter grass type Pokemon 3rd evolution that would work better than Sceptile, I think could. But again, he didn't make it onto my top 10. Another one is another obscure character. It's Chaos from the Sonic series. Not many people know who Chaos is, because he was only in, I think it was just Adventure he was in Adventure Director's Cut. But he is like Sonic, but he can stretch his arms and do all that kind of cool stuff. And he also, what I found he could do for his final smash is turn into his giant final form, which you're seeing right now. I have 2 more honorable mentions. The next one is Gutsman from Mega Man, and not from the Mega Man Network series, but from the original Mega Man. Gutsman is a villain and a heavyweight too, so I feel like he would be a fun little heavyweight villain as well. But the thing is that we also already have some of Gutsman's moves already on Mega Man, so that's one of the reasons why he's in my honorable mentions. And my last one is Dr. Eggman, who, is a fun character. He's funny, and I think he would also be a fun heavyweight villain.
Number 1.
Okay, so this is the one you guys have been waiting for. For my number 1 pick, I am choosing Shovel Knight from Shovel Knight. Ever since I first saw gameplay of Shovel Knight, I was hooked. No pun intended. Not only did it have a nostalgic feel, even though this was the first of this game, It was so clean in its presentation. With all the different weapons you could acquire throughout the game, there is more than enough to create his moveset. He could use his Dust Knuckles for his side special, and his Propeller Dagger for his up special. His final smash could be him and Shield Knight doing a combination attack after the characters are sucked into a vortex. But the one final smash that I thought of, that I thought would be really funny and a lot of fun to see, is if he pulled out his fishing rod and pulled up the Troupple King and crushes the arena, almost like Snorlax does when you summon him.